Hello dear friends, I'm Roland Gunther, homeopath in Royston on Vancouver Island, and today I'm out here in a forest of Douglas fir and bitter cherry and what else is standing around here, some alder, and I want to talk about healing and different ways of healing. And here we see one way. This is a big wound in the trunk of a Douglas fir. Obviously, a vehicle that was passing down this path hit it and took off a big chunk of the bark of the tree. And what the conifers do is they use resin. The first thing is they put a layer of resin both inside and outside. Inside the wood and here all around the wound, and on top of this. So in the end it's going to be covered with resin, and the tree keeps growing. For many conifers, this is the way they heal. They don't do much healing often of the wound itself. Many of the conifers just patch it up with resin and keep going. So it's kind of the earliest invention of the Band-Aid. Yeah, it's you don't deal much with the wound or where it comes from or whatever. Patch it up and keep going. And now this is a very, very ancient way. When 300 million years ago the conifers developed, and that's a long time ago, they were cutting edge of the evolution of life on Earth. And this way to heal was really great and very, very sophisticated. And later on other plants came, and like when you want to see a tree that really heals well, look at an ash tree or look at an oak tree or at a maple tree. Yeah, when they lose a limb, they build callus and they completely cover it. So in the end you see maybe still the scar, but that's it. Most conifers do patch it up with resin, and that's it. Now, there's also more modern plants that, when you look at all the flowering plants, for example, many of them are pretty modern in evolutionary terms. Yeah, how they deal with, they can just regrow a whole limb that they lost, and it's not a huge problem for them. Now, these old ways of healing, we still use them every day, yeah, and we still need them, because yes, how we put on something when it's a Band-Aid, how we just patch something up and keep in order to keep going. You know how that is when you are on a hike and have a blister. Yeah, you put a Band-Aid on and you keep going. When a child falls, yeah, and you clean the bruise, yeah, maybe put a Band-Aid on, or just talk with the child and keep going. And that's something very precious. But it's also a kind of simple way of healing. And meanwhile, we develop very, very sophisticated ways of healing, which does not mean that the old ways do not have a place. But if this is the only thing we do, yeah, then our life becomes very rigid, just as rigid and brittle as conifers usually are. Yeah, and so even the structures in our society around healing, a lot of the medical system is still based on that. Well, don't take care much about what's behind this. You have pain, you get a painkiller, that's it. You have a sore tooth, you will drill it out, yeah, and fill it, and that's it. You can't see, you get clearly, you get glasses, and that's it. Very often you have a tension, and we don't ask you what is tensioning up in you. We just give a muscle relaxant or massage or whatever. Yeah. So these are all really good ways of dealing with, but they're also not really cutting edge of evolution anymore. So what I want to tell you with that example is just that when we develop new things, we that does not mean that the old things will die down. This way of dealing with life, when we have overwhelming pain that we need a painkiller or something like that, is still a very good way, and we still need it. It does not mean that it serves our developmental stage where we are for each person individually, but also as a society. So today we really also need way deeper ways of looking in how healing, of looking into how diseases develop and what fuels them, what's the base, what nurtures them, and not only to deal with the surface wounds like it was enough 300 million years ago. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a good day, and see you next time again somewhere in the forest or at the beach or wherever.